Hey guys, it's your girl Denise Brown Stylist. Welcome back to my fashion styling classes. Today I want to be speaking to you about the importance of being yourself when you become a fashion stylist. The reason I want to talk about this topic is because a lot of people talk about how to be a fashion stylist, but no one really talks about that why it's important to be yourself when you become a fashion stylist. Now, the fashion styling industry is very cutthroat, and if you are not who you are or you don't know who you are, you will be gotten. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. Now, when I first entered the industry, I was a young single mother and I was very confident. Now, I'm originally from the streets, and you know, our street people, we are confident. So from 11 years old, I started to hand stitch, make clothes for people, got a name. And from then, you know, I always used to think, you know what, no one can't tell me nothing because I'm coming through the care system, and I had to find my own way. So that was something that kind of like, you know, it helped me being confident, me knowing what I want. And in my head, I was like, no, I'm gonna get there. So when I entered the industry now, it was another thing. I got kind of broken down into a person. Trust me, if you don't know who you are, you'd end up being very, very, very depressed, because the industry is very fast paced. It's a lot of competition, and you know, a lot of people come across as very confident. And if you are not strong, you end up becoming very doubtful, you be in fear, and you can really tend to lose yourself. That's why it's very important that your mind, you know, mentally, you are strong and you're ready for a challenge. Because trust me, it is a challenge. It's like a boxing match out here. And especially when you are beginning to start in the game, or even when you are actually in the game, it's still very, very hard. So I just want to tell you guys, that when you're starting out, as you know, you've got to start from the bottom, and you've got to prove yourself that you can do this. And it could be really difficult if, you know, you're up against so many other people who have got more qualifications. They can come from a privilege or, you know, middle class background, or they can even have parents that is, you know, it could be a 2-parent home that is actually, you know, pushing and encouraging them, where you might come from a different place. Don't watch that. You know, just remember that if this is what you want to do, you need to go for it, because at the end of the day, what do we do? Have one life. And I just remember myself like being a young single mother at London College of Fashion, and I felt very, very intimidated because I was one of the only single mothers and I didn't have anyone pushing me. And I'm not saying that all you guys out there, you're not going to have people pushing you, but you know, there is people out there that's pushing them, but they're not, you know, they don't feel comfortable, or they don't feel confident enough to control their own emotions. That's why it's very important to know what you want and be your true, authentic self. There was a time when no one could tell me nothing, and eventually I did lose myself. Got into a situation where I worked for this magazine, and then I started to become controlled because I was so passionate, and the person that I am, I like to put in a lot of hard work to help people, because trust me, I'm a helper. And when I put in so much work and I saw that people was like backstabbing me, you know, doing all these type of things, like talking about me, not giving me the jobs that I deserve, that's when I started to get very depressed, and I started to, you know, be out of control. And I found myself not being myself. And that's when I took a few years out and I got into teaching. So that's why I'm having this conversation with you guys about the game, because a lot of people, they see like, oh, it's so glamorous, it's, you know, it's blinged out, and it's, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna go shopping, I'm gonna see celebrities, I'm gonna speak to them, I can style models, tell them what to wear. But no one ain't really telling the truth. You might work on a photo shoot with a photographer that don't even want to talk to you. He might just not like you. and then you feel uncomfortable. You might get shouted at by the hair and makeup artist, and then you feel like, oh my gosh, my day's ruined, but you still have to go on. The celebrity might not like you, or they just might be moody. So you got to think about things like that. Or you might assist a stylist who's just got a bad attitude and they don't respect you, but because you really, really want to be here, you have to put up with all of their nonsense. See, that's all the stuff that I've been through. I remember doing a photo shoot and nobody spoke to me. When I said nobody, the hairstylist didn't speak to me, the makeup artist didn't speak to me, the photographer didn't speak to me. It was very uncomfortable. I was in my own section. I felt lonely. I felt like that kid again. You know when you're at school and no one wants to talk to you? That's how I felt. So I just got on with my job, hang up the clothes, and once I start hanging up the clothes, I created the conversation. I said to the photographer, can you come and see the clothes here, please? And then I think he felt a bit more ease. I think what he done is looked at me and judged me. And that's another thing, there's a lot of judgmental people. So you have to be very, very, very cautious. And what happened now, when I put on the clothes on the model, the first look, the hair and makeup loved it. And then they start to speak to me. And I'm talking about 4 hours later. So just understand the industry is very judgmental, very cutthroat, and you could have friends in the industry, but they might not be your friends. Do you feel me? And they might be friends that want to create friendship with you because they want to find out what you're doing so they can jump on your thing. That's why it's really important, before you enter the game, just be the confident you. Know what you want, get ready for hard work, be passionate, be patient, be prepared to work hard, be prepared to hear no, be prepared to be shouted at sometimes. Just be prepared that it's going to be very difficult because the industry is very tough to get in. So I want to give you guys some tips on why you need to know who you are and be yourself before you enter the fashion industry. Because if you don't know this, you're going to give up. Because imagine if you're a graduate and you've done your collection, and while at uni you was the top girl or guy of the class, and now you finish uni, you did a fashion show with Graduate Fashion Week, you realize there's loads and hundreds of other competitors. You've been looking for that job, you can't get that job, you can't even get an internship. What's going to happen? It's going to make you feel down, you're not going to want to do it. And that's why it's really important to be strong. But listen guys, let me just give you some tips on why it's so important to be who you are and know what you want before you enter the game. It's really important to be yourself because it makes you feel more happier with who you are and content with who you are. You stand out the crowd. You become an individual. You are no longer robotic. Just remember, nowadays, it's not just about your creativity. It's about you. People are buying into you. So it's very important that you stand for who you are and what you believe in and your vision. Don't try and make other people override your vision. Just stick with your vision, because remember this, there's going to be people out there that's going to love your vision. Just create your vision. If no one can't understand your vision, start with baby steps with your vision. Number 2, just remember who you are. You are unique. You are strong. You're a winner. Remember them affirmations every day. Sometimes, you know what you might have to do, because this is what I do sometimes. I go back to some of my childhood pictures. And when I say childhood pictures, I'm talking about when I was younger, I used to make my clothes, when I used to go out clubbing. I go back to them, them pictures, just to remind me of who I am and where I'm coming from and why I wanted this. And if that's what you have to do, go back just to look at and remember who you are. That's what you're going to have to do. Just remember, you are who you are. We are not going to be like the other person, because we are who we are. We are not robotic, because who are we? We are who we are. Love yourself. Tell yourself every day that I'm going to get there. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you haven't followed me, follow me on my Instagram and subscribe to my channel. It's your girl Denise Brown Stylist.